Dr. Tong Lee.
And this is Kurt Wilhelm, your co-host of the show here on Voice America We'll Talk Radio. So welcome to Ageless Living.
Talk about living better and longer. We need to deal with one of the major epidemic in America, which is obesity. 1/3 of us in this country are considered obese. That is one in every 3 of us.
And we're in denial as well. I remember one of the things, we really are, as the entire nation, we're in denial. I always heard about fat Americans and I bristled. Because I was
fat?
one.
What fat? We're all the same, right?
Yeah. You know, why does everybody say Americans are fat? You know, as I was actually 80 pounds, 80, 90 pounds, depending on where you draw the lines, heavier than I am right now. And so I was offended by that statement. But the reality is that we Americans eat, our lifestyle has actually led
and
to...
we're in denial. We try to be nice to each other. Oh, you look good. You're not fat.
Yeah, and we actually think internally that we don't look as bad as we look until we see ourselves on film. Oh, it's a painful experience.
That's right. The first question I want to address is, it seemed like simple, but is it possible to lose weight long term, not in the short term? Mm-hmm. Everybody can lose weight here and there for a while. For the most part, for most people, the weight comes back.
That is correct, mostly because of lifestyle. You know, people take these pills, and then they blame the pills. Now, I never, ever took any weight loss pills. I took supplements from the standpoint of vitamins, but I never took, you know, these ephedra and these, you know, these
we
magical...
will go over those popular pills for weight loss that help. You know, some people need it. Does it work or not? We're going to talk about that.
You bet.
So it is possible to actually lose weight in the long term. Is it easy? No. The answer is it's not easy. Studies show many people who lost weight either on certain kind of diets or in combination of exercise, they actually lose 5% of their body weight, and they're doing well, or more weight, more than 5 to 10% of their body weight. And once the diet period finishes, they're going back to their old habits, they're living the same way they were living, or they're saying, well, I'm done with my diet. And over the time, the weight gradually climbs back up again. You know, it's almost like the body has a memory. Once you have reached a certain weight, it kind of wants to go back to that weight. Don't you guys think so?
You know, especially in the short run, what I find, my wife just laughs at me because on a weekend I can actually balloon up 6 pounds, and then on Monday it comes right back off. Yes, it has to do with misbehavior on the weekend, but it also has to do with behaving correctly on Monday, and the memory is there and it comes right back down.
Well, you know what, you hit one point here. It is the behaving. It's the lifestyle. It's the discipline, and it's the mind. It's like everything else.
Thank you.
The biggest part is the mind.
I really believe that because I believe that it can come back down, it does.
Not just that. You behave too. You behave too.
Well, that's the point, is that, okay, let's give the reverse. When I was gaining all the weight, I really believed that, what I really believed was I could lose the weight if I behaved. But most of the time.
Yes.
But and so I figured, you know what? It took me 10 years to gain this weight. It took me 10 years to lose that weight. I did not know that a change in behavior could actually help me lose that weight and keep it off if I just changed my behavior and lifestyle.
All right. In an article in Mayo Clinic's publication, they talked about 6 strategies for successful weight loss. I mean, there are so many strategies people claim. Many of them do work, but this is, I think, a simple way of addressing things. Number 1 is making a commitment. I think that is more important than anything else. Like smoking, if you really want to quit, there's a way, there's a help you can get. There's always a way to get it done. But if you don't want to quit, nothing helps. So making a commitment is the very first step. And also believe in yourself, knowing that this is something I want to do and it's going to happen. Just like everything else, every goal you want to accomplish. It also involves in straightening your life up a little bit for the stressors, commitment that's distracting you from accomplishing your weight loss goal, relationships, stressful work situation, all of that. So that is the first step. So the next one is find your inner motivation. It's somewhat related to the first one. You know, if you want to get it done, it can be done. You just have to be committed and find ways to get it done. There's all kinds of information nowadays on the internet, books and programs. There's sometimes too many of them. Diets.
Mm-hmm.
How many diets have you heard of?
So many, and
countless.
If I could give one piece of advice about diets, is diets are very often surrounding one kernel of truth, and then they create this whole program about it as if that's the only and best way to lose weight. Mostly for the commercial reasons. They package it up and make you do something that isn't necessarily good for you.
It, but
yeah,
not all of it.
Exactly. So look at things holistically. What's good for your body, and now you actually get a trained eye over time to take out the kernels of good and make your own. Listen to your body too, and what it does to your body.
And that's the thing. It seems like easy to say, listen to your body. We're not listening to our bodies. We're eating when we're not hungry.
For example, okay, I really had to reprogram my brain about what being full meant. What I thought being full meant was that I could eat no more. Being full means not hungry. So as soon as the hungry goes away, you need to stop eating.
That's right. And that goes to some people advocate eating small meals frequently.
Mm-hmm.
If you know you're not going to starve in 2 hours, you're going to have a snack coming. Maybe you can stop when you're 60-70% full.
Absolutely. And literally just the absence of hunger, just listening to that, listen to your body, and then also listen to the health of your body. I actually had a personal trainer who gave me that advice. He said, you'll tell how your body feels. And I thought, oh, that's the most complicated advice I've ever heard.
What did he say?
He said, listen to your body and how you feel. When you eat something, you'll be able to tell if it actually feels good inside of your body and the way it interacts inside your body is good or not. And part of that has to be that you have to be able to control what you're putting in there. So if you're putting good things in and then you put something that's bad, you can actually narrow down what's bad for you. If you're constantly throwing junk food in there, you have no idea. There's noise that you'll never be able to listen to.
That reminds me of a friend of mine who always gets popcorn when he goes to a movie. They go hand in hand. You can't separate them, right? Going to a movie, you can't go without a popcorn box, right?
Correct. That's that's American way, right?
Every time he eats it, he gets a heartburn and he doesn't feel good, but he still buys it. So he's listening to his habit or his body.
There was a time when I was not even heavy. I was on my way to becoming heavy, but didn't know it. Where I got heartburn all the time. That's part of listening to your body. I don't think I've had heartburn in 5 years.
That's right. You know, this makes me thinking about. What's the most effective way of losing weight? That is not to gain weight.
That's right. Thank you. Could I share my little mathematics?
Absolutely.
My sister was very impacted by me moaning the blues about how I gained the weight, and because I'm her elder brother by quite a long ways. We had a lot of family, a lot of kids and family. So I mentioned to her, you know what, all it is during the holiday season, I'm gaining 2 or 3 pounds, but it's every holiday season. So after 10 years of 2 or 3 pounds of holiday season, that's 20 to 30 pounds overweight. You do that for 20 years, that's 40 to 60 pounds overweight. What's the average American overweight? Okay, just do the math.
That's right. It is so hard to lose weight, so the easiest thing is not to gain too much.
Correct. So what she did, because she was younger, she made a commitment that that she would not gain weight during the holidays. And so she didn't. Some people do it by doing exercise binging in January.
Hey, you got to weigh yourself every day. That's another thing. That's
Thank
how
you.
you make sure you're not
Agreed.
gaining weight. How else would you know?
Yeah, especially during the holidays, weigh yourself. If you put on 3 pounds and then 4 pounds and then 5
Hopefully
pounds.
twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. This is how you're going to say, well, I ate too much today. Maybe I'll do something about it tomorrow. So I won't eventually gain weight.
Exactly.
So the next strategy, the third one, is setting a realistic goal. You know, I really don't think the goal is that important, except if you set a unrealistic goal, you get depressed.
Right.
And you give up, or you are not going to keep at it. So for that reason, you know, have a realistic mind. You know, usually losing 1 to 2 pounds a week is considered healthy and realistic. And there's all kinds of there are all kinds of schools of theories on how fast you should lose weight, or how the speed of weight loss would affect its longevity of keeping the weight off. I think these may have some truth to it, but I think the most important part of it is actually keeping your behavior. Keep behaving. So the realistic goal should be 1 to 2 pounds a week. I think everybody considers that as healthy.
You bet. Now, for me, I actually did get pretty aggressive because I had 80 to 90 pounds to lose, and I didn't want to take 10 years to do it.
I'm sure that losing
Yeah.
that faster didn't get you depressed.
No, exactly. You know, I went to the gym and I said, who is that big monster on the treadmill right there next to that guy who looks amazing? And, you know, some people that would depress them to say I look terrible to the next door to the guy who looks amazing. But for me, it was very motivational because as I went to the gym, I actually did some things which I won't go into today that were all very healthy for me, but I actually was losing almost a pound a day. I got my set point right. I did a lot of things in the way I ate, and I did it correctly. And to actually watch that fat melt off, that's a drug that is better than any drug I think that could ever
Which
be
one is
created.
this?
The drug of the natural high of just watching
I
yourself
see.
become better in shape.
Absolutely. The positive results will give you positive feedback and keep you on track of doing the right things.
Yes.
I do want to mention one thing. This is very much related to weight loss and our body images, which is liposuction and fat freezing.
Yes.
And a lot of people, we know that obesity is not good for your health. It's certainly not good for your look either. So many people want the shortcut, which is liposuction. But a lot of times we are told liposuction is not for weight loss. Well, what is it for? I mean, you're sucking the fat out. Why is it not for weight loss? We're going to talk about that when we get back.
You betcha. When we come back from break, we will talk about that. I do want to clear one thing up real quick, and we'll talk about it more when we come back from break, is that fast weight loss, doing the pound a day like I did, you've got to be very wise about it. It could be a little bit dangerous. So when we come back, we will talk about more about that.
Don't go away. We'll be back.